How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
the end. I'm burning in the stone yet. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone This is the final
I'm going to have to start posting short videos to get out of the shadow ban again, aren't I? You know, YouTube is a funny place in that I have so many people that I know for sure that when my content is actually served to people and notifications are actually working, people love my fucking content. I like it, it happens every single time. And then I enter into the YouTube shadow ban ether because I stopped posting YouTube shorts. I need to start making short videos again anyway. Obviously, this needs to happen. I took a little break from, I'm on the wrong microphone. Let me check. Thank you for telling me, bot. I am on the wrong microphone. Hello, hello. Is that better? I was on the wrong microphone. It was attached to my camera because I changed my settings when we did the spy stream the other day. Anyway, yeah, professional streamer on the internet. That's right. Never doubt that I am indeed a professional streamer on the internet. And because I'm a professional streamer on the internet, I know that right now, based on my audience numbers, I am in the YouTube shadow ban. So what that means, guys, is we all need to work together. Please make sure you are mounting the like button. It's really, really important. It tells YouTube to serve my content to more people. And again, this is an issue with the news cycle. We see this, and if I'm not doing short videos, because the way that YouTube works is that people have no attention span, and really the most views I get are on the really, really short videos where I'm like talking into my phone. I haven't done those in a while, and so here we find ourselves in the shadow ban. It's just us. And I'll tell you what, guys, we do have a channel membership goal today, and so the more people who are in here, the better it's going to be for everyone. So it benefits everyone to get the video liked and all that stuff. We actually have a really fun stream today. You know what? You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I was like this close to doing a mass general amnesty. I was like this close to unblocking everyone that I blocked on YouTube and on Twitter, just because I do that every once in a while. Because you know what? It's always nice to give people a second chance. You don't know how many people maybe you blocked on accident that are still watching and listening. This has happened before where we have banned people from the chat and they were still watching and listening, and then we unbanned them and they came back, and then some of those people ended up getting rebanned because they were still a toxic asshole, which is why they got banned in the chat in the first place. So it doesn't always work out that great, but you know, I do like to give people a second chance. And then things have been so toxic with the MAGA retards on Twitter that I'm just like, nope, don't wanna. The amount of MAGA retards that I have had to deal with in my replies lately is just off the charts. It is off the charts insanity. And so I was really like this close to unbanning. You know what? Part of me in the back of my head is like, maybe you still want to do it just for the engagement, because now I'm kind of changing my opinion about Twitter. I'm starting to just do almost pure clickbait on Twitter. And the reason is not that I support clickbait. I fucking hate clickbait. I think clickbait is a waste of time. But the fact of the matter is clickbait on Twitter does make me money. And if I have to deal with the toxicity of Twitter and I can't get my message out there in any cohesive way, then you gotta sometimes play the hand that you're dealt. And at least if I post clickbait on Twitter, I make more money, which equals more purses, because Twitter money is play money for me. Twitter money is not life sustaining money. Twitter money is like extra money that I can buy stuff with on Whatnot. And so I'm kind of like, you know what? If I just post this clickbait, I can get more on Whatnot. By the way, I won a second laptop last night on Whatnot. This is the second free laptop that I have won on Whatnot in the span of a week. Both laptops are going to Victor, of course. The first one came in today. It was like a refurbished laptop, it looks like. I don't know what he's going to do with it. But how fucking crazy is that? I've won 2 free laptops on Whatnot in the span of a week, in addition to a Burberry scarf, a Celine bag, like 8 billion fragrances. I mean, my husband doesn't do anything that would concern Israel. So if he's using the laptop, I'm not going to use the laptop. I only use Macs, but my husband needs a new computer. And so it's like, you know what? Fine. Because on how do you win a free laptop on Whatnot? Because in a lot of the luxury purse shows, they do these things called giveaways, where every 5 minutes they run a new contest where anyone can enter. You don't have, well, most of the time you don't have to buy anything. It's totally free, and you just enter the giveaway. And so I was just entering the giveaways on the shows I was watching, whether I bought anything or not. And in the last week, on 2 of those occasions, I have actually won a free laptop. Sometimes they give away free TVs. Sometimes they give away free luxury bags. I just won a luxury bag. I won a luxury scarf the other week too. Like, you can actually, I win these fucking full-size fragrances all the time. I have so many of these full-size fragrances. I've won at least 3 dozen full-size fragrances, I swear to God, from Whatnot in the months that I've been on there. It's actually crazy. And so listen, if you need an excuse to go onto Whatnot and you're like, I don't want to buy all this shit, let me give you my Whatnot invitation link, because then you get credit and I get credit if you spend money, and that's rad. And then we can all benefit from Whatnot, because Whatnot is the only thing maintaining my sanity currently on the internet. There it is. And if you want to join Whatnot via my link, you will get credit anywhere between like $10 and $200 or something like that. And whatever credit you get, I also get. So we both win. We both win. And that's awesome. Hey guys, before we get into the show today, breaking news. Ethan Ralph was arrested for apparently disorderly conduct and indecent exposure. I know that none of us are shocked by this revelation, that consummate toxic, whatever the fuck he is, loser, Ethan Ralph was arrested in Milwaukee last night or this morning, whenever, for like indecent exposure and whatever the fuck he disorderly conduct. I don't really know. But I think the important thing about the Ethan Ralph arrest is that his arrest record clearly lists his weight at 245 pounds. Now, why is this important, you ask? Well, normally I don't give a flying fuck about Ethan Ralph's weight, except that Ethan Ralph, on more than one occasion, has been harassing me and bullying me on the internet about my weight, including in this post back in August of 2025. I weighed 179 pounds this morning. Are you over or under 179 pounds? Well, Ethan, I don't even remember what I weighed back then, to be honest with you. But what I do know, Ethan, is that based on your arrest record, and I don't know where the fuck they're getting the 5'10" from, Ethan Ralph is like a fucking hobbit. I don't know, Ethan. I have to say 245 does not seem to compute with 179, and I'm very sorry to burst your bubble, Ethan, because Ethan Ralph is going to talk about me on his show when I do this, and he's going to be like, she's using filters and this is really what she looks like. Well, Ethan, I hate to break it to you, I've lost a significant amount of weight in a couple of months, and so So yeah, bro, I am actually like significantly less than that. And I am certainly significantly less than whatever the fuck you weigh. I've never weighed anything anywhere close to 245 pounds, Ethan. And then Ethan Ralph replied to me on Twitter. He said, "This is not accurate. I have no idea why it says 245. 194 last time I weighed." Well, Ethan, guess what, bro? Guess what? I still weigh significantly less than you fucking retard. I am never going to stop rubbing this in people's faces. I originally decided to lose weight so I could look like completely different, so I could go undercover again without getting recognized. That was the impetus for all this. But just being able to rub this in the faces of everyone that's bullied me and harassed me and has just been a total fucking toxic retard on the internet about my weight for years and years and years. The fact that I'm now like on my way to almost 50 pounds lost in a couple months. That's fucking cool. Actually, I didn't even expect to lose it this quickly, but that is the keto crash starvation diet for you. Apparently, if you just eat meat and you only eat once a day, apparently your body just can't hang on to anything. And so, whatever. Too bad, so sad, Ethan. Maybe you should try the keto crash starvation diet and maybe you would weigh significantly less than me. But oh wait, you're busy getting arrested for exposing yourself like a fucking retard again. So, whatever. And do you know what I really can't wait for? Do you know what I really can't wait for? When the first pictures like of like that are not taken by me emerge from what I look like, because this is what's going to happen at some point. At some point, I'm going to go to some in-person event. Someone's going to take a picture of me. It's not going to be me holding like the phone in front of my face or something like that, because this is what they always say. Like, Karlyn uses filters, and baby, I don't actually use filters. I literally just take a straight-on picture of myself, and it comes out however it comes out. But like, people will take a picture of me from like the worst possible angle, like from the side and from the bottom looking up and all this stuff, which no one in their like humanity looks good at that angle like ever. A picture is going to emerge of me, or I'm going to go on someone's show and it's going to be an in-person like thing, or maybe I'll even end up on Fox News again, who knows. There's going to be some sort of event in which it's going to be revealed how much weight I have actually lost. And I think you guys might even be shocked. I personally am shocked when I see the clothes that I'm fitting into now. I am personally shocked at how quickly it is dropped out. This, like, this just means it was the right time for me to lose weight. I like when I wasn't losing weight before, I didn't really give a fuck. There wasn't a reason for me to lose weight. I didn't even want to. And the fact that it's just dropping so quickly now, that I was like, all right, gotta go undercover again, gotta make myself look different. It was just the right timing. Everything happens in its own best time. And when there is eventually a grand reveal of what I actually do look like in person, with someone taking it from an angle that's not me, or me being on someone's show or something, so people like trust it more than just the pictures that I post, I cannot fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. It's going to happen at some point. We're not going to make it happen. We're just going to let it happen in its own best time. And I think that is going to be a glorious, glorious, glorious fucking fuck you moment to all of these people who have done nothing but bitch and complain about my appearance for years and years and years, haven't taken any interest in the work I've been doing exposing the left, haven't shared any of the important content that I put out there, just whine and complain and smear and defame and bully and all this stuff. It is going to be the most epic fuck you moment that has ever been. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. I'm so congratulations on your arrest, Ethan. Congratulations on weighing significantly more than me. Congratulations on living up to the expectations that we all have of you. And I don't know, man, like, enjoy jail. I don't know. And I honestly don't really care. I just don't really care. Hey guys, guess what? Breaking news. James Fishback followed me on Twitter last night. And James Fishback is awesome. And I am a big fan of him. If you have not been following his gubernatorial race in Florida, where he is taking on Byron Donalds for the Republican nomination, it has been glorious to watch. It is actually fucking glorious. Listen, I might not agree with James Fishback on every single thing, but I have to say, like, watching him out there giving no fucks, like really just actually talking to the Groypers, actually listening to the Groypers, because the Groypers are actually highly intelligent young men. I have been around a lot of Groypers in my day. I have been to AFPAC. I have met the Groypers in person. I have talked to them in person. And the vast, vast, vast majority of them, not all of them, because every audience has their retards, but the vast majority of Groypers are very intelligent, high-speed young men who have different ideas about how things should be going in the country. And I may not agree with them on everything, but I have actually never okay, so they shit talk and shit post on Twitter. But like when you actually sit down and talk to them, they are highly intelligent people. And I love that James Fishback has taken the time to actually talk to them, to get to know them. And that he is just running the massive fuck Israel candidacy. He is the only politician that I think is even worth paying attention to right now. Like everyone else, well, except for Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey rules. Thomas Massey will always be the king. But everyone else fucking sucks. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene left Congress. She's awesome. Matt Gaetz could have been our attorney general, but no, they picked Pam Bondi instead because that's what the GOP does. And so all of the good people have left politics now, and we have this one shining light of a moment with James Fishback, and I'm here for it. I think it's fucking awesome. I love that he's catching on with especially like the youth in Florida. If you saw his appearance the other day at this college Republican event, like they packed the room. It was out into the hall. There was a massive amount of interest in him, and I am here for it. It's awesome. Now, when James Fishback followed me last night on Twitter, I went into the DMs and I sent him, because like if someone prominent follows me on Twitter, I'm gonna be like, hey, thanks for the follow. Here's what I do. If I can ever help you, let me know. Like just kind of like the typical, like, you know, if I can be a resource to you with getting you information and intelligence on the far left, I'm happy to do it, sort of thing. And when I went into the DMs to talk to James Fishback, I found that he and I had already DM'd back in the day. And I just didn't remember it. Because back in the day, in 2023, October 30th, 2023, James Fishback exposed woke high school debate. Now, we actually watched this back in the day. One in the chat, if you were here when we originally watched the woke high school debate video that James Fishback exposed and put on Twitter. This video is fucking wild. This video is, he's got it here. This is the last round in the most prestigious high school debate tournament in the country, where basically both teams are completely woke leftists. We're talking about kids out of really elite private schools who have done this debate club thing for years and years and years. And basically the arguments that they end up using in this debate are just pure woke bullshit. And one of the teams basically says that they won't even debate the topic because trans people are being genocided by MAGA. Does anyone remember watching this when it came out? Because this video is fucking wild. But we have a lot of new people on the channel. And of course, like there's a lot of people who may even be hearing a James Fishback for the first time. I thought because there were so many new people on the channel, we could go back and watch the video. So he released a clip, but then he also released a full video. At the time, the full video was, he's got a whole like list of clips here. He's at the time the full video was actually taken off YouTube, but James Fishback, in his utter genius, archived the video on Twitter. And so I downloaded it last night. The first half hour, they were fucking around with the sound, and so there's nothing really in the first half hour. But I thought we could just chill out and watch what happened at the woke high school debate tournament a couple of years ago, which was originally exposed and made viral by now Florida gubernatorial candidate James Fishback. It's just one of those things where I was like, holy shit, I didn't even realize that he was the guy connected with this. It was so long ago. I hadn't forgotten about it. I remember this video very, very, very well. It's crazy. And it's crazy to hear this coming out of the mouths of high school students. And you guys remember, this is just a couple years ago, guys. This was 2.5 years ago. Nothing has significantly changed in 2.5 years. I promise you. Hey, thanks so much for the super chat. I said I accidentally stumbled in on time. You guys did daylight saving. Yeah, I don't even know how fucking daylight savings time works. I go by whatever my phone is telling me. So my phone updates automatically. That's not my fault. It's not my fault my phone updates automatically. Hang on one second. There we go. Thank you for the super chat. Karlyn, you look great. I was happy to see you smiling so much during Amalek's presence on the show. You were positively glowing. Well, Amalek is devastatingly handsome, and he has a way of bringing that out of me. What can I say? But I do appreciate him. Listen, like the thing with Amalek, okay, I joke about it, like whatever. The thing with Amalek is like, there are so many toxic men in this space, and there are so many toxic men that just hate women on sight. And there are so many men like on the dissident right that it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how sweet I am, no matter how much they tell me, why don't you just be sweet to me? It doesn't matter if I acquiesce to them. It doesn't matter if I qualify everything. It literally doesn't fucking matter. They are going to hate you no matter what. And you just can't do anything fucking right. And because of that, it's like it is impossible to have a conversation with those people. One of the things why I like Amalek so much, and why, like, I think, I'm glad that he hangs around the channel, he hangs around with us. Amalek doesn't hate women. He just doesn't. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's such a breath of fresh air just to be able to have a conversation with a person and not have it, thanks Raven's Poetry for that. I appreciate it. And not have it be like I'm constantly trying to justify myself. I'm constantly on guard for like how he's going to attack me, how he's going to take something I said and twist it. If he's going to release DMs, not that there's nothing in our DMs to release really, except private information about him that like he doesn't like want people to know. That's really the only thing that could get released from our DMs is like information about him. Not anything scandalous or anything, but just like they're whatever. Like there's some things people don't want on the internet. And so like that's the deal. It's like it's so fucking refreshing to not have to worry, does this person hate me for no good reason? Is this person going to attack me for no good reason? Or can we just like have a conversation and maybe agree and disagree? Amalek and I don't agree on everything, right? But at least like we can have a conversation about it where it doesn't end up in some sort of like grotesque internet blood sport bullshit where we're then just trying to hurt each other over and over and over again. It's just like it's so nice and it's so easy. And I wish more men in this space would just really think, like, I understand why men are annoyed with women. I really do get it. I understand. I hate most women. But like, if you are just hating someone because of something, like I hate women that are annoying and stupid and don't have anything to contribute to the conversation. I don't hate all women. I have women friends. Not all women are annoying and stupid and have nothing to contribute to the conversation. On the same token, not all white men are worthy of my time and energy because there are a lot of stupid, toxic white men that I don't want anything to fucking do with. And I think like when you get into a place where you're judging these people just based on like, you are a woman, therefore I hate you and I hate everything you say and I'm going to be a dick to you no matter what. It's like, that sucks, honestly. And as soon as like there's nothing I can say or do in a situation that matters, I'm just like, okay, I'm out. If literally nothing I say matters in this situation and you're gonna hate me no matter what, then I'm out. If nothing I do matters and you're gonna hate me no matter what, I'm fucking out. Like I have no control over the situation. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna try to justify it either way. I never have to worry about that with Amalek. I also never have to worry about that with Adam Green. And that's, one of the reasons I appreciate both of them because I think they're both extremely smart. I think that both of them are able to have a conversation. I think that both of them don't fucking hate women and both of them are really good looking. And you know what? It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Anyway, guys, we do have to get into this video because we do have a spy stream later tonight. Actually, the spy stream is going to be in about an hour, so I'm probably going to pick up the playback speed on the James Fishback video just a little bit to allow us to get through as much as possible. But because you guys were so generous with the channel memberships yesterday, we will be doing a public double feature spy stream, watching not one, but two leftist organizing calls back to back. That is going to start in about an hour from now. I would like to do another channel membership goal today. I'm going to run the channel membership goal through this stream and through the spy stream. So if you guys want to support the work I'm doing, because I am 100% funded by people like you, if you see the value in me exposing live information to the public about what is going on in these leftist organizing calls, if you want to keep this going, if you want to keep the spy streams public instead of supporter only when I am able to make them public, then please consider gifting some channel memberships to the community. Please consider sending in a super chat, joining the Substack. But I do like the channel membership goal because I think it benefits everyone in the community. And you will get W's in the chat when you donate your channel memberships. W's to Just a College Dropout, getting in our first channel membership of the day. Guys, the deal that I'm making is that I will show up for you guys if you show up for me. And so if you want to show up for me in the form of a channel membership, we will be streaming for the next several hours, showing you inside leftist content no one else on the internet is showing you. And yeah, that only happens when you guys support the channel. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into the James Fishback video. Again, this is starting about half an hour into the video because they were just fucking around with the sound. I'm going to pick up the playback speed just a little bit, and let's enjoy the woke debate high school meltdown exposed by James Fishback back in 2023 for a little bit of a blast from the past.
So before I read Constructive, I just want to thank a couple people who have been so helpful and amazing for me during my debate career in the past 4 years. First, my family, my mom and my sister, and my grandparents who talked to me about our topics so much, even though probably the last thing they want to talk about, and my dad, who I know would be really proud to see this. My architect, Brian, who is literally the smartest, nicest person in the entire world and puts up with way too much with us, but has literally taught us how to debate. Our prep group, Amanda, Jonathan, Jenny, Karina, Alex, Claire, Shreya, Zoe, Leo, and Lila, who literally work so hard and make prep calls so fun and put up with JJ and I when they really shouldn't.
Captions. I don't know if I can.
lab.
I'm very sorry. I don't think I can do captions because this is like literally a video file. I would turn on captions if I could over the hill. I'm very sorry. I don't think I can. I don't think there are captions available, but I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Leaders, Ellie, Chad, Sandy, Jack, Chase, everyone who has helped me over these past years at camp and have shaped how I see debate and just always been there for us to ask questions, even not during camp. Riley, who helped us specifically with this argument and was super helpful. The whole Dalton team, who's just always there for us and our biggest cheerleaders. Andrew Thong, who has judged for us at literally every tournament and is the nicest person ever.
These debaters are from Dalton. Dalton is one of the most elite schools in New York City.
JJ's family, who takes me in every weekend for debate tournaments, and Leo, who debated with me last year and is going to be here next year and the year after. And lastly, JJ, who is not only the most amazing debate partner, the hardest worker, the nicest person, and just my best friend in the world. And I'm so lucky to have him. With that, is everyone ready for a case?
For the observers in the round, sorry we couldn't accommodate y'all with the forum. Our case is going to have a non-graphic discussion of trans experiences in debate. I'm really sorry again, y'all, but if that's going to be uncomfortable for you, please do whatever makes
Trigger warning.
Can I just get a timer on your phone?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have the most recent doc? Just scroll down and make sure it says in the old.
I did. I was on Dr. Drew. I still have to post that clip, but you can probably find it on his channel.
Okay. Oh. Lock my phone every time I try to do this. So.
Is everyone ready, by the way? Okay.
Good
job, Rebecca. This is not TOC finals material.
Okay. All right.
Thousands of demonstrators demand that New York City do more to help those suffering from AIDS. Resistance took the form of non-cooperation. Demonstrators had to be dragged to paddy wagons.
Holy shit! I don't think we Reagan, I don't think we realized this at the time because we hadn't yet gotten into the ACT UP movement. They're playing a clip from the ACT UP movement. This is why we go back and watch things we watched a couple years ago. We know so much more now than we did a couple. That's fucking wild. They actually played a clip. And you know what? Shout out. It's Not Okay Golf actually knew exactly what it was. Only like the fact you've been studying. Well done. Well done. That's fucking crazy.
many shouting as they were carried away. Do you think you really accomplished a great deal? Yes, I think we do. What else can we do?
So guys, the lesson I want people to take from this is when I'm showing you things, I'm not showing you things that are not influencing people in the real world. Based on the fact that in a high school national debate final a couple years ago, they were playing videos from the ACT UP movement, which was in the late 80s and the early 90s. If you don't know about it, go back and watch my content on it. It was one of the major events in queer Marxist evolution in the United States. We now know, just without any shadow of a doubt, the ACT UP movement is influential on these kids today. They know about it. They know about it. They've studied it. They're integrating it into the national high school debate final. And this was a couple of years ago before we even started doing deep dives into the ACT UP movement. So when I'm telling you something is relevant to the far left, I'm not just picking out an essay that was written and put on the internet and then no one actually reads. I'm showing you the things that are directly influencing the leftist activists in the world today.
Everything. I called everybody. I got appointments with everybody. I've got to come to City Hall and state my case. We're dying. The city is dying.
I don't know that man's name, but I know a little of the hopelessness and the horrible sinking fear in his voice. Here's how I prepped for the TOC. I woke up a week before and learned that 28 instead of 27 states wanted to kill me.
The clip I played is from the 1987 ACT UP protest in New York City. It was not the first and certainly not the last demonstration of its kind. It joins a tradition of trans and queer protest against institutions and to reform communities that are violent and exclusive. We are here to join this tradition in our own small way. So welcome to the protest. We are tired of how debate treats trans people. More than that, we are tired of the way that treatment is normalized, how it is treated as a necessary byproduct of having good discourse. When a nationally ranked team is bold enough to read arguments and make trans people uncomfortable in front of an 11-person panel and not be called out for it, something needs to change. When a trans kid can go 3 years in debate believing being misgendered was simply something he needed to take in order to win ballots, something needs to change. When almost every trans person quits debate or considers quitting several times a month, several times a week, several times a day, something needs to change. First, the framework. Status quo political discourse remains fixated on the notion of the child, symbol of a future society we must protect. Baden 12. Politicians universally frame their debaters around the question of what policies are best for children, who keeps the child safest. Politics, however supposedly radical, is simply the universal movement of submission to the ideal of the future, to preserve, maintain, and upgrade the structures of society, and to proliferate them for all the sake of the children. It is for this reason queerness finds itself missing from political discourse. Sound familiar? It should. Still having abstract policy debates in as violent and exclusionary community as this constitutes something like reproductive futurism.
Guys, this is slightly sped up, but if you've never watched high school debate before, this is actually how fast they talk. They actually do this. So I'll turn it back to normal speed just because this might be harder for people to follow. It's only slightly sped up, though. It's not significantly fast.
They're obsessed with the continuation of a society for
That's
future
normal.
generations while ignoring violence that happens every day in spaces like this one. See, trans people know that scenario planning is planning for a future they don't have. They're too busy surviving to participate in that game. Baden 12. Reproductive futurism, which demands that all social relationships be structured in order to allow for a possibility of the future, ensures that it's the sacrifice of all vital energy for the pure abstraction of the idealized continuation of society. Queerness must figure as being against the future itself. In the name of the future, any repression can be justified. This round is going.
Queerness is against the future itself. Did you hear that? Holy, this is hitting, guys, I cannot, for people who are new here, we had started dabbling in queer Marxism back when this debate came out. Since this has happened, we have done more deep dives into queer Marxism than any other people on the internet. This is hitting totally different. I didn't expect it to be this overt. This is hitting totally differently for me now than it was when we first watched it. This is actually fucking crazy.
Do you have the most recent doc? You scroll down and make sure it says in the old.
Yeah.
And then the old says GSC.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Again.
Lock my phone every time I try to do this.
Is everyone ready, by the way?
Oh, did I just go back way too far?
Okay.
Probably
Good job,
did.
Rebecca. This is not TOC finals material.
Okay.
But,
Hang on. Well, let's just let them go.
Thousands of demonstrators demand that New York City do more to help
We'll just
those
watch it again.
suffering from AIDS. Resistance took the form of non-cooperation. Demonstrators had to be dragged to paddy wagons, many shouting as they were carried away. Do you think you really accomplished a great deal?
Yes, I think we do. What else can we do? I've done everything. I've called everybody. I've had appointments with everybody. I've got to come to City Hall and state my case.
Yo, thank
We're
you,
dying. The city
W.
is dying.
I don't know that man's name, but I know a little of the hopelessness and the horrible sinking fear in his voice. Here's how I prepped for the TOC. I woke up a week before and learned that 28 instead of 27 states wanted to kill me.
The clip I played is from the 1987 ACTA protest in New York City. It was
It's
not
all right,
the
Krista,
first
don't
and
worry about it.
certainly not the last demonstration of its kind. It joins a tradition of trans and queer protest against institutions and to reform communities that are violent and exclusive. We are here to join this tradition in our own small way. So welcome to the protest. We are tired of how debate treats trans people. More than that, we are tired of the way that their treatment is normalized, how it is treated as a necessary byproduct of having good discourse. When a nationally ranked team is bold enough to read arguments and make trans people uncomfortable in front of an 11-person panel and not be called out for it, something needs to change. When a trans kid can go 3 years in debate believing being misgendered was simply something he needed to take in order to win ballots, something needs to change. When almost every trans person quits debate or considers quitting several times a month, several times a week, several times a day, something needs to change. First, the framework. Status quo political discourse remains fixated on the notion of the child, symbol of a future society we must protect. Baden 12. Politicians universally frame their debaters around the question of what policies are best for children, who keeps the child safest. Politics, however supposedly radical, is simply the universal movement of submission to the ideal of the future, to preserve, maintain, and upgrade the structures of society, and to proliferate them through for all the same.
Yeah, she's read Baden. I promise you, both of those Dalton kids have read Baden. Baden is about as far left. She fucking, you heard it. Holy shit, she referenced Baden. That's wild. Okay, for people who don't know what Baden is like, it's basically, it's nihilism. It's gender nihilism. It's anti-civilization. It is as far left dystopian queer Marxism as you can possibly get. Baden is like, oh my God, I cannot even believe that.
Of the children. It is for this reason queerness finds itself missing from political discourse. Sound familiar? It should. Still having abstract policy debates in as violent and exclusionary a community as this constitutes something like reproductive futurism. They're obsessed with the
Reproductive
continuation
futurism.
of a society for future generations while ignoring violence that happens every day in spaces like this one. See, trans people know that scenario planning is planning for a future they don't have. They're too busy surviving to participate in that game. Baden 12. Reproductive futurism.
Holy shit, she did it again! She referenced Baden again. Do we need to do a whole week of Counter-Revolutionary Book Club to read Baden? We might need to do that. We haven't done Counter-Revolutionary Book Club in a while. I keep saying we're going to bring it, there's a whole bunch of stuff we need to bring back. Counter-Revolutionary Book Club needs to come back, because if you have not read Baden with us, like, obviously and clearly Baden is being read by high school students.
Be structured in order to allow for a possibility of the future ensures it's the sacrifice of all vital energy for the pure abstraction of the idealized continuation of society. Queerness must figure as being against the future itself. In the name of the future, any repression can be justified. This round is going to be a debate about debate. The button you're clicking does nothing.
This is going to be a debate about debate. They're not making the debate about the topic of the debate. They're debating about why are they even having a debate in an environment where trans people are oppressed. Hey, thanks so much for the super chat, Grandma Nay. Really appreciate you.
To the IMF itself. Your choice instead is whether to affirm our performance. The role of the ballot is to vote for the team that constructs the best strategy for trans liberation in debate. Essentially, you are deciding, will you join the protest? Vincent 13. Debate isn't in of itself a performance. We must evaluate what.
Yeah, Master Shake. This is what James Fishback released 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, when he exposed woke high school debate. These two debaters are from Dalton in New York City. This is the national final of the most prestigious high school debate tournament. And this was back in October of 2023. So these high schoolers at the most prominent fucking bougie private school in New York City, one of the most elite private schools in the country, are reading fucking Baden.
Debaters' performance does and justifies. Those with privilege in debate are never forced to have their performance attach them. Their arguments are viewed as words on paper. Our alternative is to occupy the debate space until trans debaters can participate safely. Movements are only effective if they create material incentives for those in power to change by denying the community business is normal. TOC Finals is the most important debate in the country. This round will be viewed by hundreds, if not thousands of people. Your affirmation here is the ultimate disruption of the debate space. COVID-19 to open institutions that function as containers, you have to throw the usage into crisis. Protest requires becoming an inconvenience.
What they're doing is they're doing a protest on the final stage at the National High School Debate Competition in order to bring awareness to trans liberation. And what they're trying to do is get the judges of the debate to just completely nullify the topic and say, you win because you made the best case for trans liberation. The debate topic they're supposed to be debating on has nothing to fucking do with trans liberation. They're doing a protest to emotionally gaslight people into saying, this is so impactful that we have to let you win, even though you didn't do what was required.
Violence seeable, sometimes you have to create a scene to stop business as usual, impossible to pass by. Occupations of political projects, you counter the violence of a system by revealing the violence of a system. We have tried politeness, we have tried blog posts and infographics and endless discussions, but the only way the debate community will change is if we hold their most sacred currency for ransom, balance. We will occupy the debate space and deny business as usual until there is change.
Occupy
Show
the debate
trans
space.
Debaters, trans kids everywhere that they belong. Show them that they deserve to be here in TOC finals and in finals at every other tournament. Show them what this space can be.
That's
So
crazy.
before I read, any constructives, I'm just going to call Marcus and we're just going to run some prep. I'll let you know when we start. Starting.
Oh no, I think they won. I think they won, if I recall correctly. So these are debaters. This is a judge. This is a judge. This is a judge. And then I think these two guys on the outside on the bottom are debaters.
That was 30 seconds. Is anyone not ready? Perfect. So I think in light of this, Marcus and I have decided to concede the round against Dalton. I think that they're
so basically these two have decided they're just going to give up and quit because the Dalton team made such a great case for doing a protest at the National High School Debate that it's not even worth bothering to debate them because they're just going to take the L. That's what just happened.
Message that they've read throughout the entire tournament is incredibly impactful. And by debating it, I don't think we want to undermine the message that they're trying to get across or try to tear down an argument just for the sake of picking up a ballot. But rather, I think what's more important is to hold a conversation, to discuss their messages and their experiences as well. So in light of everything, we think it's the most important thing in the round is to make sure people have a voice in the first place to get across their message. And there's no greater place to do that than TOC finals. But so before Marcus and I engage with the conversation,
yeah, it's another high school.
We all have some thank yous that we'd like to give. So first to our administration, Dr. Daughtry and Mr. Gallagher, you two are the only reason as to why we are in the activity in the first place by giving so much funding to our school to travel nationally, to go to so many states around the world. I'm really thankful that you do what you do for this program. Next to our coaches, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Paik. I am at a loss of words when I can't describe how much they've helped us. They sit through practices every day. They often come to tournaments around the country with us. They spend time away from their family just to be with us in the first place. And we can't thank you enough.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
You're not understanding. This is not just two high schools. This is the national final of the most prestigious high school debate tournament in the country from a couple years ago. It's not just two high schools. It's all of high school debate.
Just wanted me to shout out his two cats, Justin and Gigi. So I guess I'm thankful for them as well. Next to our coach for this tournament, Sandeep Shankar. He's done a lot for us. In the beginning, Marcus and I were a bit hesitant, but towards the end, he's put in so many hours of work for us, helping us get through each round and round. And when we don't think we win, he provides us so many words of encouragement, which I'm truly grateful for. So next, I'm wanting to thank my teammates, those who made it here, Daniel, Abraham, James, Baroon. All of them have done so much work throughout the year to get to this point. And without their help and without their work, Marcus and I wouldn't be here in the first place. So they've done so much for me. And to the teammates at home, Alex, Colin, Oliver, Wyatt, Ben, Veer, Isaiah, and all the other novices and sophomores that we have, like Ragi and Reza and Sam, we thank you a lot because you make our debate experiences so much more pleasurable when we walk into practice every day and see the smiles on your face and your incentive to learn. It makes us want to do debate more. So thank you so much. And moreover, I want to thank all the friends that I've made across this country. I cannot tell you how many friends I've made across this country nationally. Kevin, Riley, Pranav, Zach Youssef, Sune Rastogi, Sukum Kang, all these friends that I've made over the past year have been so inspirational to me in my journey through debate. So thank you so much. And finally, for my past captains, I want to thank Kiran Krishnamurthy, my freshman year. I'm thankful that he didn't cut me in the first place, but he gave me so many words of encouragement to help me go through debate and understand that I was good enough to compete on a higher enough level. And Sukum Kang, he was my captain last year. Thank you for hearing my advice, my arguments, anything that I wanted to get done. You were always open to lending an ear for me. So I'm eternally thankful for all that you've done for me. So I'd also like to thank my parents as well. Without them, I'm sure I wouldn't even be having an online debate in the first place because I wouldn't have a computer. So they've done so much for me in this activity and I wouldn't be here without them. And finally, I want to thank my partner, Marcus. This is his last round and it's been an enjoyable 2 years for us. When Marcus first joined the debate team from Kenston, Ohio to university school, I was very hesitant to partner with him. And our partnership was going to end after the first couple tournaments of my sophomore year and his junior year. But we've been through the most amount of highs and lows. And despite that, we've always stuck together. And it just shows to go how much of a great guy Marcus is. He's willing to do anything and he's willing to put everything on the line for you. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to meet Marcus in the first place. And I'm so happy that he's done well in his career. And he's a good human being and he's a good person for doing this. So Marcus, if you want to say any other thank yous, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief. I just want to say thank you to my parents who encouraged me to start debate in the first place. And
his last high school debate round, and he has to give it up because the two queers from the New York City prep school wanted to argue for trans liberation.
I've wasted over the last 3 weeks, and then all of our prep groups this year, Strake and Hackley as well. You've been instrumental in giving us arguments and just being good friends. And then Anand, we've gone through it all like you've said, and I'm glad we've stuck through it to make it here to TSC finals. I wanted to thank the judges as well throughout the tournament who've judged us, and just the people who are working at the tournament for running a very good tournament and spending your weekends to listen to high schoolers debate. Other than that, I think that's it. So I'm going to give the stage to Dalton, and if they want to lead this conversation anyway, be my guest.
Okay, lead the conversation, Dalton.
Yeah, so I think if you all don't mind, I know we've been doing a lot of thank yous, but I want to thank one or two people real quick.
Oh, come on.
First, I want to thank university, both y'all and also we debated YP earlier. Y'all, this is one of the kindest things anyone has ever done for me, and I think Rebecca can say the same. And I'm genuinely blown away by your generosity in this instance, and I'm so grateful to you for taking this seriously.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you decided to quit so that I could win without actually debating the topic. Doctors know for being late to class. Thanks, Deets. Thanks, Deets. Hey, guys, I can't help but notice that we only have 3 channel memberships, and we have 100 channel membership goal. Do you guys not want to do Spy Stream later? Is that what you guys are telling me? Is you guys don't think that Spy Stream should be something that we invest time in later? I mean, let me know. It's really up to you guys. But if you guys don't want to do this stuff, we can find other stuff to watch.
We're really, really caring, and we need more people like you in this community. I also want to thank all of our other Dealin's opponents, Dirty Valley, College for Activity, anyone else I'm forgetting. Blake, we didn't read this case yet. So, y'all are all so kind to us. Yeah, Maris also to put up with this. So thank you all. I know it's hard to debate arguments like this, and y'all were incredibly upstanding and debated with the best of faith and cared as well. I want to thank my family, my mom, my dad, Leo, for dealing with this for so many years.
Yeah, Stacy needs a new membership.
Exactly. For 2 months, it must have been the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And to all the people who I love in and out of debate, Coben, Evan, Kenny, even Oliver sometimes, Ruby, Alex, Claire, thank you all. And I think Rebecca gave most of the thank yous, but just know that it means so much for me that you all have been there the entire time. And yeah, so
Virgo Moon, W,
I've thought about this moment a lot. I've wanted it to have more of a hypothetical, but I do want to say that and I've been telling this story throughout TOC, so sorry if any of y'all debated us before and are hearing it again, but my first ever tournament was Yale my freshman year. And I remember round 6, my opponents misgendered me, and the judge like didn't even blink. And to know that my last tournament of my career, this is the final round that we're having, means so much to me. So thank you all.
I was
Thank you, Gideon University.
misgendered. It hurt my
Unless the judges
feelings.
or university, y'all have any particular ideas, I'd love to spend like
Okay, now they're getting
15 minutes just having a conversation with anyone in the room who wants to participate.
Bring the playback
talking
speed
about
back
some of the
to
stuff that we talked
Yo,
about in
Sarah
constructive and talking
W,
about how we
thank
can make
you.
debate just a little bit better. Would that be okay?
Guys, if everyone in the chat just gave a one channel membership right now, we would already meet the goal. We got Chitalago in there. We're going to do it one by one. That's okay. W's to Chitalago. Thank you for that, bro. If everyone just gave one channel membership right now, we'd already be done and I wouldn't have to ask anymore. And that would be great. That would be great.
Perfect.
And if you guys don't want me doing spy stream and stuff like this, then can you offer some suggestions on content that you think would be valuable? You know, let me know. If you don't want to do spy stream, we don't have to do it.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
I guess we should probably start. Like what are the things that the debate space should do to help your message get across?
Yeah, I don't want to say like I can definitely answer the question. But I don't also if there's anyone in the room, like I know, and I don't want to call you out, but like Alex, we've been talking about some of this stuff. Anyone else who like wants to participate? I'll give the floor to anyone else before I've spoken too much. And if not, I'll.
I can start because JJ doesn't want to talk right now. So I have the honor of debating University School MN basically every weekend because they are part of our local circuit. And I know Marcus specifically, I've had a few conversations with him about this, about how just over the time, like I've been in debate, I've definitely seen the community get better in terms of like the normalization of putting pronouns in places and stuff like that. But ultimately those are like very small impacts when like, for example, like last year, one of my best friends went to go like coach the team that literally bullied me for a year. So like ultimately as like adults that are graduating the community, you just have to like be good role models is what I would advocate for, and like concretely support trans debaters and like concretely don't support debaters that like put down trans debaters. Also, I know I look really red right now. I have a fever, so.
Are you okay, Alex? Oh.
I can tell you the story about my almond poisoning, but that doesn't feel super relevant right now.
Okay, we'll talk after. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think also Alex makes a good point about like, I think that a lot of discourse about trans people becomes about like pronouns, which are super important. But I also think that like, I think people can think that's like a sort of replacement for other kinds of advocacy. So, for example, something I would point out is like one, and Alex kind of alluded to this. I think hiring decisions need to be better, and this doesn't go out to y'all university. I know this is not up to you at all, but in general, for like the people who are watching this round, for the people who run the TOC, who might also like run camps and stuff.
What Master Shake, what is in that video that you just sent me that is the reason that you linked a psychotic bitch in my chat? Like, let me know what you want us to see in that video. What is it that it was like, why would we care? Why?
I think one, doing background checks. That's something that like I think so few camps do. Making sure that you're doing your due diligence on like what influence have these kids created, because trust me, there are kids' names where like if you go to like most debaters and you're like, oh, this kid, like I'm hiring this kid, they'll be like, oh, there are some things we need to talk about. I also think like when it comes to sort of in-person stuff, something that can be really helpful for like tournament directors and stuff and for coaches, like make sure that, especially if you've trans kids in your team, like you're looking and making sure that there are gender neutral bathrooms, that they're single stall bathrooms, that dorming and like rooming situations aren't uncomfortable. And same thing at camp. Like I spent a lot of years at camp, like in a single by myself, like prepping for 12 hours a day or whatever. And like that was better than the alternative, which is like being with the girls, but it isn't ideal.
Yeah, also just re-inclusion on like your teams. Like you should like like I wasn't captain of my team. Like this is my senior year and I wasn't captain of my team. And I think like one of the bigger problems on my team this year was there was definitely a time when like the university school underclassmen were better at respecting like my pronouns and my identity as like a not cis person than like many people on my own
A
team.
not cis
And I like
person.
genuinely think that that is because a lot of them were scared that I was gonna like read theory on them. And it just felt a little odd to be like more respected by people that weren't on my team than people that were. And so I think like as far as making people included on your own team go, like be sure that you're being like very respectful to everyone and just like, I don't know, yourself. There's not really a message here, but
Oh no, I thought it was a good message. Also, I know it can be hard to contribute. Don't worry, y'all, this won't go on for much longer. I know it's been a long day, but I'd also say if you have me on Facebook or anything like that, if y'all want to like message me
Yo,
anything, 'cause you don't wanna
W.
participate
Anthony,
on this
thank you.
live stream or whatever, which is fair.
Guys, as a reminder, if you are watching on your phone, which does not allow you to gift channel memberships, you can allocate a super chat to channel memberships. They are $5 per channel membership. And if you want to donate via super chat and just say, Karlyn, this is for channel memberships because YouTube sucks and I'm on my phone, we will count it as a channel membership. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I can also say anything that y'all like perhaps want to say. I will say something that came up today that was a really good point that we hadn't thought about. Was when we debated University YP, Abraham and Daniel pointed out in particular that we could provide anonymous opt-outs and pointed out the importance of that. And so I think that can also be something that in general you can do to be more inclusive. But, yeah, and is there anyone else who either has ideas or wants to ask questions?
Thank
You don't have
you.
to be trans at all. Just
Yes,
literally
yes. These people believe they are trans, but by trans, they do not mean transition from man to woman or woman to man. They mean trans as in transcending or transforming the gender binary. This is an important distinction because when queer Marxists, and these are queer Marxists because they read Baden, if you're reading and quoting Baden, you're not transitioning from man to woman or woman to man. That is queer Marxism. That is one of the most influential like publications you can read for that specific ideology. That's far left dystopianism, which is about abolishing gender altogether. So when they say they're trans, what they mean is that they're queer. They believe in a far left political ideology that believes in abolishing gender entirely, abolishing all identity categories, even abolishing civilization, because Baden is an anti-civilization, that's their ideology. They're nihilists, they're anti-civilization. And so that is what they're talking about. So it's really important that you understand the difference. When we're saying someone is trans, it's very important to ask, are they upholding the gender binary by transitioning from man to woman or woman to man? That is a different problem than queer Marxism, which wants to abolish all gender, all identity categories, all civilization, everything.
Whatever you want. The judges as well are welcome.
I think I have something to say. So I remember Daniel and Abraham and the rest of the university school team were on like FaceTime during like we were listening to the RFD of your octas round. I remember, and I think what's really important is that it's important to recognize that debate is not about winning an argument. It's about making sure everyone feels okay.
No,
and making sure
nope,
everyone feels
has
safe.
nothing to do with making the South the idol. It has to actually do with the opposite of that and getting rid of the South. It's about abolishing capitalism, abolishing everything that upholds normative society, has nothing to do with worshiping the South. That is a conservative bullshit talking point.
So when that's hindered upon, I think that's when debate becomes essentially useless in the first place. So it was really, really eye-opening to see those passionate RFDs given by the judges, to see that debate really doesn't matter about the IMF. Like, who cares? Like, what matters is like those people who need to be safe within the round itself. So
the topic of the debate doesn't matter. It's making sure we have a safe space for everyone.
I agree with that. I also think there's an interesting question about like, and Rebecca, I think we talked about this, like what kind of arguments do you need? And like, I think a big question people asked us was like, why does this need to be in the debate space? Like, we understand it's an important issue, but why does it need to be in rounds?
Or like
No.
competitive too.
Yeah.
W Raven's
yeah.
Poetry,
And,
5
like, I
channel
think
memberships.
the
Thank
idea
you.
is that, like,
Appreciate you.
I know that there's like a lot of reasons why progressive argumentation is bad and inaccessible, and I think we should work to make sure that our progressive argumentation of any kind is as accessible as possible. And I don't think that like trans liberation and debate requires it, but I do think that like there is something to be said for like the kind of arguments that we make in debate, and making debates focus on the most real and tangible type of violence possible, at least until people start to realize it a little bit more can be useful.
I also tend to not buy the argument that like progressive debate is super inaccessible, because my partner, not Claire, my debate partner, my romantic partner, does policy, and like they like run a lot of arguments that are like not traditional policy advocacies. And like Ohio policy isn't big on the national circuit, so it's not like, you know, they're going to like NAT tournaments every weekend. But it's still like trickled down to the small world of Ohio policy.
Yo,
and like maybe
W
those
Kristen, thank you for the 5
so
channel
I
memberships.
think like
Appreciate
even though
you.
that might be a barrier to access, it's still a good important thing to do. And ultimately the way to like break down that barrier to access is to make this type of argumentation like more widespread.
Yeah, what time does James come in? Yeah. Can I just say, like, separate from this whole shit show? I really think at this point the most hilarious possible outcome would be James Lindsay advising Trump on pretty much anything. Just because James has been desperate to get invited to the White House ever since Trump got into office. James feels like he was cast aside and removed from the inner circle and all that stuff, and he's really jealous of everyone that got to go to the White House and get those Epstein folders and all that shit. I think the most hilarious possible, thank you for putting the bait and link in the chat, Grillis. I think the most hilarious possible outcome for just our own entertainment value is if James Lindsay becomes an advisor to the White House. That would work out well on like so many different levels for us, not for them so much, but to watch Trump go on a James Lindsay downward arc into insanity. I mean, can things get worse? Oh yeah, they can. And maybe we should accelerate that a little bit by making James Lindsay a White House advisor. 1 in the chat if you agree with me that would be a really entertaining prospect. 2 in the chat if you think that's probably a really bad idea. 3 in the chat if you think both potentially could be true. It could be both really entertaining and also a really bad idea.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Marcus. I didn't mean.
Oh yeah, I guess I had a question on like, Anant and I like, we knew you like our team hit the argument like, and Anant and I like, if you were debating against an argument like this, how do you respond to it without it like coming off as demeaning?
No
or, like
way!
how do we like
No
responsibly and respectfully interact with these arguments?
Yeah, it's okay. Do you want to answer? Do you? You can go. Yeah, I mean, I think the way that we tell people to engage with it is sort of like you don't have to negate anyone's identity to respond to these sorts of arguments, right? Like you can respond to sort of, I guess the method would be the idea. So for instance, say, why is protest ineffective? Why is this particular type of protest ineffective? And I think someone I want to give a shout out to is our round 1 against Marist OW. Lauren and Anthony read really, really good arguments against this case, and it helped us make it a lot better because they really really tested it from all directions, and they read a bunch of arguments about like the importance of representation and about why these sorts of arguments shouldn't be in competitive spaces. And I think that that's sort of the strategy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree.
Is probably most viable.
Yeah.
I wanted to add really quickly that I don't know, just as a trans person in this debate space, I wish that the energy it takes to be trans in the debate space was better respected, i.e., for example, calling out getting misgendered takes a lot of energy, and it's something that's really tiring, and it's something that you don't want to keep doing after it happens.
Emotional labor. Mm-hmm.
And I wish that people in the debate space would see that and just see how hard it is, just not even to call things out, just to exist in a space where it does not feel like you should exist. And I think that even though a cis person won't be able to fully understand what it feels like understanding that that is a feeling that a lot of trans people experience will help you be more compassionate, cognizant, and a better ally to trans people in the space.
Yeah, this is also a shout out to my lovely partner Claire Mari, who probably over 10 times through this season bore the responsibility of reading misgendering theory in rounds for us after I would get just like clapped in summary many times, like just straight up being misgendered like 7 times in a row. Happened many times. So like if you're a cis debater and you're like partners with a trans debater, part of like your role in as being an ally, as being a partner of a trans debater, is not just to like, you know, pat us on the back when we're like sad or upset. It's to like take concrete steps to make a debate round safer, like my partner constantly reading theory, or like Rebecca reading this argument with JJ.
Yeah, no, I 100% want to agree with both of y'all. I especially think Sean makes a really good point of like Rebecca will tell you, like this tournament, when we had our semis round against Blake, and this isn't at all to say the rounds before were like bad or anything like that. In fact, I enjoyed them more than almost any PF rounds and learned more from them than almost any PF round I've ever been in. But our semis round against Blake, where they went for like Russia extinction and we went for like financial crisis, I just had to take a breath and be like, oh my God, I'm just so glad that this round didn't come down to like some disagreement about like being trans or something like that, because reading these kinds of arguments, whether it's misgendering theory or talking
misgendering a queer means not using they them or whatever the fuck pronouns, calling them she her or he him or something like that.
Talking about your personal experience is like so hard, and it's so draining, and that's why it's so kind of ill to concede. And yeah, also Rebecca's gonna be mad at me after for not thanking her, so thank you for supporting me through everything, and you're delightful.
I think also it's just that not even reading like misgendering theory is hard, but then it comes to the question of like you may not even win the argument at that point. You're still very likely to lose the argument. It sort of invalidates you at some points. I remember at Strake, I believe Marcus and I hit something close to some feminism, or misgendering, and it's just like so painful to watch like people lose that argument just because of debating skills rather than identity itself.
They're debate partners.
That's something that also needs to change.
They're losing because of their identity. So why don't we abolish all
Hi,
identity?
I'm Claire. I'm Alex's partner who JJ and Alex have referenced, and they have asked me to contribute my thoughts. My thoughts as a cis debater who is partners with a non-cis debater and friends with other non-cis debaters who's been in awkward, uncomfortable, traumatic, and stressful situations like they're talking about when debating arguments about identity, and has dealt with the effects outside of the round, is that the best thing that you can do if you don't know what to do is to
Okay, bro, listen. You need to emotionally detach from this and realize that this is not about your fucking feelings. This is about understanding them and what they believe. That is what we're doing here. We are listening to them to understand them and what they believe so that you guys can learn what your enemy actually thinks and detach from the conservative retardation that most of you guys consume as a part of your daily content consumption. So that is what we're doing here. This is not about your feelings. It's not about like anything related to you. This is about them and understanding what they believe and how they see the world. If you have questions related to that, please let me know. Neopronouns, wrong thing, sorry, Valkyrie. Neopronouns are an attack on the gender binary, often used to advance non-binary as a part of the queer Marxists wanting to abolish gender, which upholds capitalism. Beautifully put, Grillis. Excellent. Yes, that is exactly right. No, it's not to assume. It's that these people do not believe gender should exist. So gendering them at all and not calling them they them, like being non-binary means no binary, literally no binary. It's a reference to the gender binary of men and women. When someone declares themselves non-binary, even if they're saying they're trans, when they say they're trans non-binary, they're saying they are transcending or transforming the gender binary. Their goal is to get rid of what they call the socially constructed categories of men and women altogether. That is why they're offended, because you're forcing them into a gendered category that they believe was created as a social construct by capitalism. Hope that helps.
listen to your friend or your partner or your opponent and listen to what they're telling you and not immediately dismiss their experiences, and
Not a
do
boy or a
everything
girl,
in your
exactly.
power to make them feel safer, because ultimately, if you're not safe, you don't gain any education from the round.
Yeah, and I also think that the point made earlier about like misgendering and sort of like, right, like Claire's saying, right, like when you hit one of these arguments, it's like you've done, and I don't even mean like our kind of argument. You don't have to concede against our argument. You're just awesome if you do. But like you can answer that. If someone calls your behavior out and says that's a reason to lose, if it's a person talking about their genuine experience, like I really think that, and I know this may be a little bit controversial, but you should concede. Like, I think that the best thing to do in that instance,
If a person calls you out and says that you aren't being respectful enough towards my queer leftist Marxist identity, they should totally lose the debate, no matter how they deal with the debate topic, because they were mean to me and hurt my feelings.
Or do violence against someone in that way or make them
Doing
uncomfortable
violence
is
against someone.
typically just to say, look, this was a mistake and apologize and concede, because I think that something like misgendering shouldn't be like.
We really need to go back and just I've been saying we're going to do this for a while. We really just need to go back and watch all of the queer Marxist shit we watched several years ago again. Like, we need to do a replay of literally like every single fucking queer Marxist thing that we've ever watched. Again, just because we understand so much more now than we did then. We were learning that, and now we can pick it apart in detail. And it's just like, there's so much fucking gold that we have covered on this channel that maybe we didn't even know was gold at the time because we just didn't know enough to know what we were looking at. This is crazy.
Up for debate, right? And I also think that that burden falls on judges, right? Like,
Yeah.
when y'all
I'm
are
gonna
evaluating
introduce
rounds,
you
and
to
Rebecca and I've
violence.
had so many
Yeah.
conversations where we're like, when we're judging, if someone reads like misgendering, if someone misgenders someone in the round, they make them feel unsafe, whatever, we're not evaluating the debate. We're just going to say no. Like, okay, I don't care about a high school debate round. I care about kids feeling safe. And
Yeah, I also think like this is something that I think our judge, I forget what round, said this in her RFD and was like, I think really powerful, is that, yeah, like what matters is the way kids feel in the activity. Yeah, I've loved the competitiveness of it, and yeah, I try to win rounds, and we've read tons of substance arguments and had lots of fun and learned a ton, but ultimately, like, if kids are feeling unsafe, I think it should be the burden on everyone in the round, whether it's your partner who does something, calling out your partner.
Thanks
or if your
for the
partner's, being
W.
harmed, stand up
Appreciate
for
it,
your
bro.
partner, yourself, whatever. And yeah, I also think that comes for like the bigger thing of like who we're hiring to judge at tournaments, who we're allowed.
Guys, here's the deal. I understand people have been super generous with the channel memberships lately, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it. However, if we do not hit today's channel membership goal before the end of the two spy streams I'm bringing you tonight, I'm making all spy streams in the future supporter exclusive. I'm deadly serious. I said I would show up for you guys and you showed up for me. I said I had apprehensions about making the spy streams public because then I thought if I was making the spy streams public, people wouldn't support at the same level, which means that leaves me with less money to be able to do things that I want to do, to be able to expose the left and do different things with you guys. And so that's the deal, guys. This is going to be the litmus test. I'm not only going to count it on this stream, I'm going to count it on the double feature spy stream that we're doing tonight, which is another couple hours at least. So if you guys want spy, and we already have 1, 2, 3, at least 3 spy streams scheduled for next week, and there probably will be more. I will make, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're fucking right. You just want more purses. Yeah, you know what, bitch? Capitalism. But, you're getting permanently banned from the channel, so you don't have to be here anymore complaining God knows what. Anyway, I don't have to make the spy streams public, and so it's really up to you guys, okay? It's really up to you guys. Yep. Imagine complaining about, do those assholes go to everyone who has a job and complain about every single thing those people buy?
Allowing to judge at tournaments, making sure, because,
Yo,
for example, like.
See, I knew it. Swinging dicks were going to make their way into the chat eventually. I knew it. Massive W's to Hans. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is my job. If you don't want to support the channel, get the fuck out. Warner, you don't need to say you're sorry. You really don't need to say you're sorry. It's all good, bro. Don't worry about it. You're just fine. Thank you for being here and listening. I appreciate it.
With misgendering, I know that like misgendering theory is like a norm and somewhat, but also if you have a judge that you can't read that in front of or whatever, they won't take that into account because they, don't have experience with it. It's not their fault, but also then I think like a person who's been misgendered is forced to then continue through the round that's become unsafe with no real exit option unless they want to concede, which doesn't seem fair. So yeah, I think that's also
like we read this case round 1. Round 2 we had a delightful person judge around, but who misgendered me in their RFD, and it was like, oh well, there's not really anything I can do here. So I think it relies both on like debaters, like y'all concede if you do stuff that's wrong, but like also like it relies a lot on adults, because I think people forget that, like especially for first year outs, like y'all are adults. Like y'all might be like 19 or 20 or 21, but you're still adults in the same way that like teachers are adults to high schoolers, right? So like there's some like 16-year-old kid in there around who's like, hey, I feel unsafe. And you as like a 19-year-old are like, sorry, you dropped RBIs are bad. Like there's something missing there.
Kenneth W, thank you. Appreciate it.
That are teaching kids how to respond to those theory arguments in the first place.
Hannibal,
are telling
welcome.
How to win when somebody reads trigger warning theory. And I think that's a question that every coach that does that needs to ask themselves. Like, why do you think that's okay to prepare kids to be violent like that?
Why do you guys, I want people to really understand this. They literally do believe that misgendering someone is violence. In the same way, it's the same thing as physical violence. You are trying to erase them if you misgender them. And because they believe that misgendering is violence, don't misunderstand. Just because these are high school debaters talking on a Zoom call right now, because they believe that misgendering is violence, that capitalism is violence, that this is literally enacting violence on their bodies, they believe they are justified in responding with violence.
Yeah, it's an awesome point.
I wanted to add really quickly. Oh, sorry, Rebecca. Yeah, I want to add really quickly that I don't think that judges should be accepting apologies on behalf of trans debaters. And by that, I mean, I guess I can give a personal anecdote. A while ago, I was at a tournament and I was in a round against some very scary, older, cloudy debaters. And first I got misgendered 7 times in one speech. Then I got gaslit into being told it didn't happen. And we read a voting issue on it and went for it. And I left right after the round. And after I left, the debaters we were debating apologized to the judge for what happened to me. And then we lose. And the RFD is that the judge believed that my opponent's apology was genuine, which is confusing to me because, one, I wasn't apologized to, but primarily,
we lost when we should have won because my opponent misgendered me and then didn't apologize effectively enough, and I was still offended by it, and we should have won because I was offended by being misgendered.
I don't understand why cis judges feel that it is their right to decide what is okay, or when it becomes okay, when an apology is good enough, when it becomes unjustifiably violent what has happened to a trans debater. I don't think that those decisions should be made by cis people, or at least minimally. So yeah, I think we should defer to trans people more.
It's someone off screen. I don't know who it is.
For first as a disclaimer, this is my friend's account. I'm not Anish. But I think that there's like a really important conversation stemming from that about just the power.
I think this is one of those Zoom calls where there are only certain people that are actually pinned on the Zoom call that you can see the video of. But so if you don't see anyone talking, it's someone that's on the call that you just can't see the video of.
that like all sorts of power dynamics in the debate community. And of course, like there is just this idea of why judges get to control these sort of conversations around like trans debaters that I think a lot of people have already addressed. But I think it's also like debaters themselves in the community, even though obviously most of us are minors, there's this really big disparity between how so many cloudy or debaters who are well connected in the circuit act and portray themselves as allies to the trans community, and then go into like DMs or group conversations and are the exact opposite.
Oh no.
And I think that
oh no,
I'm pretty sure not everyone in these like big prep groups or conversations is actively like transphobic, but for people who are like genuine allies, or for anyone who wants to like kind of confront your hypocrisy and step up a little bit, there's a lot of power in just speaking up, and especially if you are cis, speaking up and actively confronting people. Like people have talked about how like partners can like step up for their trans debaters, and how judges can step up for the debaters they're judging. But I think by far the most powerful way that people make concrete changes is when their friends call them out. And yeah, there's just like I've seen and I've heard so much disparity between how people even just like talk on public discourse and like read arguments in rounds versus the way that people treat trans debaters in like private conversations. And there just needs to be a lot more like accountability there, I think.
I also think, to clarify, I've heard so many people be
yeah,
like, yeah,
I mean, isn't this wild though? And this is why people really need to understand that what we're experiencing today, especially with queer Marxist activism, which I think is one of the most dangerous ideologies that exists in the United States right now, this did not appear out of nowhere. This did not start with Obama. This did not start with gay marriage. In fact, these people queer Marxists never wanted gay marriage to be legalized in the first place. This started back in the 50s and has been just a slow like evolution ever since then, getting more and more crazy, getting all these crazy influences from punk, getting all these crazy influences from BDSM and kink sex clubs and things like that, and basically just like this started a long ass time ago and has been on a slow evolution. And the reason it has gotten as far as it has, to the point where it has infected national elite high school debate, is that the right didn't do anything about it. No one did anything about it. They said, they'll grow out of it. They're stupid. They're ugly. Why are they so ugly? Why are they so stupid? They just don't, they are uneducated. They're mentally ill. They'll grow out of it. When they get a job, they're not going to do it's like all of this shit that's been happening for decades. Every single deflection from the conservative right to not tackle the cultural problems that the left is forcing on people through queer Marxism specifically, because queer Marxism is about undermining normative culture. Marxism is not just about the economic system. Marxism is also about the cultural system that upholds capitalist society via the gender binary, via the nuclear family. There's other things too. But like, this has gotten as far as it has because the right allowed it to by not doing anything to stop it. Old Sub Sailor, thanks so much for the super chat. Check out the new sticker design that Doug and you created. I've seen that sticker design, and I think that sticker design is fucking awesome. Let me just bring it up. I'll bring it up and show you guys what they did. Look at this design. How fucking cool is that? So I love it. I am in full support of the sticker design. I may even put this in the merch store if you guys would allow me to do it. Maybe we'll even put it on a t-shirt. Maybe I'll even start using the Decode the Left Twitter account more now that we're putting it on a fucking sticker. I think that this is a great design. I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really cool. Doug sent it to me. I think it's great. And thank you guys for doing that. And again, I've said this before, guys, but if you guys want to do stuff with the designs and you want to make cool shit, please feel free to do it. Just make sure you're crediting me and sending people back to my work and stuff like that. That's literally all I ask. But if you want to be creative with the different design things I put out, they are yours to play with. Please go forth and conquer. If you want to make stickers on your own, print them on your home printer, I don't give a fuck. I'll sell them in my store. You can buy them from me too. But like, if you just want to print them out on your home printer, like, please go do it. Go do stickering campaigns. I want to make a website at some point where we make this stuff more publicly available. That's another thing on the 87 list of things I have to do, is to make all this stuff publicly available so people can download it, utilize it, play with it, evolve it, do all those cool creative things, you know? All right. Do we need to stop? Shit. Guys, we need to actually stop because we got to go do spy stream. So we've been yapping too much about these queer Marxist debaters. Maybe this is something we'll go back and watch another time. But guys, we do have to actually end this stream and enter into spy stream. So we are about to go watch not one, but 2 live leftist calls. This is going to be on a separate stream. Rumble, I'm going to have to set up a new stream over on Rumble, but I'll put the YouTube link in the chat just for you guys. But I will be setting up another stream on Rumble. Let me pop this link. So what I need you guys to do is we're going to exit out of this stream. We're going to go to the other one. The reason I do that is I like keeping the stream separate just because it allows for easy archiving purposes and stuff like that. Spy stream fun. Karlynist Unite. We are the modern day 007s now. That's exactly right, Prita. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'll add a channel membership for you. We're up to 45 channel memberships. Hopefully we hit our 100 channel membership goal before the end of spy stream, so we keep making these public for everyone. But for right now, guys, we're going to end this stream. We're going to pop over. We're going to start our spy stream infiltration, and everyone's invited to this for the time being, because people were so generous with their support yesterday. Hopefully we can continue to keep these public by meeting our membership goal today. But I'm going to end this stream now. We will go back and watch that debate thing another time because I actually do want to watch that again, like now that I've actually seen how crazy it is. But we're going to have to do it another time. All right, guys, I will see you on the other side. Take care. We'll